Okay, simplifying algebraic expressions. We touched on what it was to be an algebraic expression yesterday. We know we have expressions which are combinations of terms and numbers put together by operations. So now we're going to get into how to simplify some of those more complicated expressions. If we add 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, well, we know that's equal to 8. We can sum that to 8. We also know that this is the same. We know it's the same as writing. It's also the same as writing 4 times 2. So therefore, instead of 2, let's say we had x. And if we had x plus x plus x plus x, well, that is just going to be equal to 4x. So if we had x plus x plus x plus x, that is equal to 4x. And that's kind of what we're going about here. Algebraic terms can be simplified. Algebraic terms can be simplified by combining terms with addition and subtraction. So we're just going to be talking about how to simplify them with addition and subtraction right now. Because when we add them together, that is how we combine them. They can only be combined if we're adding or subtracting them. Multiplying and dividing is a little bit different, and we need to take that into account. So terms can only be combined if they contain like terms. If they contain like terms. Now let's try and remember what we mean when we say like terms. Like terms have the same pronumerals, and they are raised to the same power. So like terms have the same pronumerals raised to the same power. So for example, let's say we have 2x and negative 4x. Well, they both contain an x there. Okay. And they're both only raised to the power of 1. So they're both like terms because they have the same pronumeral raised to the same power. Different example, let's say 3y squared x and negative x squared y. At first glance, you may look at these and go, oh, okay, well, there's the squared there. There's an x and a y, and both of them, they're like terms. But actually, the squared is what's important here. We've got the squared on the x and the squared on the y. So these actually aren't like terms because they're not raised to the same power. So yes, that's like. No, that's not like. Like terms can be collected. So we often say collect like terms, and that really just means added or subtracted from each other. So when we collect like terms, we add and subtract them from each other to form a single term. to form a single term. So for example, let's say we have 5ab and we want to add 8ab. Well, first we need to check that they're both like terms. Well, there's an ab there, and there's an ab here. They're the same pronumeral raised to the same power, which means we can combine them. And that is just going to be 13ab. Okay, we can kind of put that back up to the top here. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So we add them all together, and it's like saying x plus x plus x plus x is 4x. Well, we have 5 lots of AB, and then we have 8 lots of AB. So in total, we have 13 lots of AB, and that is why we have that answer. 4y squared x, take away 7xy squared. Now, you may be looking at these and you may be thinking they're not like terms, but they actually are. This squared is on the y. The squared is on the y. They can be flipped around like that. It doesn't change anything. It still makes them like terms. So 4 lots of y squared x. Take away 7 lots of xy squared. Negative 3xy squared. It doesn't matter how you write it in this final answer. Okay, so this could be written as negative 3y squared x. You can swap them around. That doesn't matter. The answer does not change because they're like terms. And lastly, we'll talk about multiplication division. A times b is written as ab. And a divided by b is written as a over b. So they're just some things to take into account. You will often see variables just written together like that. That just means that they're multiplied together, and if they're divided by each other, you just write a fraction line below. So now we want to just simplify the following expression. So for my first example, let's talk multiplication. I'm going to do negative 2a times 3ab. So negative 2a times 3ab. Now we want to pull the numbers out the front, okay? It's proper notation to write the numbers out the front, so we're always just going to keep that. So negative 2 times 3, and now we write whatever variables are left over. So we've got times a from this first term, times b from the second term, times a from the second term, times b. And that goes to negative 6a squared b. Now you can go from there to there. That is absolutely okay, but I'm just doing it for the sake of the explanation if you don't understand how I've done some of my working. So you can go there, that's okay, but we just are doing it for the sake of the explanation. B, 12ab squared divided by 3ab. Well, again, I can rewrite it as a fraction, so it's 12ab squared over 3ab. And now it just becomes a matter of cancelling out common factors. So the b squared and the b are going to cancel out. The a and the a are going to cancel out. And the 12 and the 3 is just going to become 4 over 1. So now we can rewrite all of this simply as 4b. And that's going to be my final answer for that one. (8ab squared), take away 9ab, take away ab squared, plus 3ba. So I always like trying to separate these into the like terms. Okay, so 8ab squared. What's a like term to 8ab squared? Well, it'll be this ab squared over here. And then I've got a minus sign out the front there. So this is like saying 8ab squared, take away ab squared. So 8 lots of ab squared, take away 1 lot of ab squared. But then I also have my other bunch of like terms. I have 9ab. Well, 3ba is actually a like term. And then I need to remember the signs in front of them as well. I always need to remember those signs. This is now actually negative 9 lots of AB plus 3 lots of BA. These are like terms even if they're swapped around. They're the same variables raised to the same power. 8 lots of AB squared, take away a lot of AB squared, is 7AB squared. Take away 6 lots of AB. So hopefully that helps you with some of your simplifying problems. Again, if we're going to scroll back up to the top, the questions are just up here, okay? And then once I update it, the questions will also be written in the calendar. Make sure you check that calendar daily for what we're going to be doing.